guys, we are going to do something, which is we are going to play the exact same scenario against the Convergence. There are a few changes, but the board itself is the same. The exact same environmental features, same elite, with only one change. That is, instead of the Witch's Hut, we got the Abyss. The reason I had to do that is because I changed out the Keeper for the Clockwork Giant. We'll talk about why I did that once we get into the game, because I want to keep this intro short. Try and get this video a little bit shorter than the last one. I still have the twins. I made some changes there. We'll get into that once we get into the game. We do have the quest for the Clockwork Giant. We'll talk about that once we get into the game. So, you know what? And the other thing I'm going to try to do is I'm trying to do better with the cameras. So the first thing that we have to do starting off this game is rolling our dice. That is a little bit of a different setup. I do have the dice in a different position. Try to get in a little closer. We are going to have the Clockwork Giant as the first player. And I took him over the Keeper due to the hunger mechanic. Maybe I mismanaged it. Maybe I handled it wrong. But 2 times during my playthroughs of the starting scenario and the last scenario, the Keeper killed the assassin because of hunger. So I'm going to avoid that whole thing. We're going to go with the Clockwork Giant. We'll swirl his dice real quick. Let y'all see what he got there. That glare is a little bad on those dice, isn't it? Can't really figure out because I don't even have a light pointing down on those. Let me turn this light off and see what happens. All right, that's a little better. Still a little bit of a glare. I wonder if it's coming in through this window. Hold on, guys. If I pull this curtain a little bit too. Did that fix it? No, that didn't fix it either. But we're going to go with that. I really would like to keep this light on, keep it a little bit brighter in here. That's definitely bad. Let's see if we can change the color, if that'll help. All right, that does help a little bit, so we're going to go with that. Okay, so let's get those dice out of there. Got some movement. He's got a double shield. He's got a dagger. And he's got a magic. Let's roll for the twins real quick. Get that out of the way. So now I'm going to take you to the Clockwork Giant while I set up her dice. Lots of movement. A dagger. And a shield. All right. While we're on the Clockwork Giant, we're going to talk about his little different features. First thing about him is he cannot heal. So if he ever draws a card that says heal 2, he does not heal. His big thing is once his hit dial reaches 0, he takes this hero critical token onto his card, resets his dial to 15, and basically starts over. If he reaches 0 again, he's gone. So basically, he has 30 hit points. And then he's out. Now, one of the big advantages of that is at least 3 critical injury cards for the twins. So that's something to keep in consideration. We still want to try to avoid him as much as possible. He also has this gear. And basically, let's see, during the refresh step, he switches gears and resolves the effect. If you notice his movement, it's 1x. That X, basically his movement is on his gear. Right now his movement is 1. So he's slow, just like the keeper. But he does have some variation in it. There's one movement where his movement is 0, another one where it's 2, so it's going to equal out about the same. One thing I do want to cover about him is from his personal stories is his quest. Not going to read the entry. Like I said, if you guys want to hear the entries, let me know. I'll go back and read them for whatever heroes, whatever hunters I'm playing. But for right now, and we'll go over this real quick. For his quest, he had a special setup. He had to remove the witch's hut and replace it with the abyss. So that's why the abyss is on the board. And then his quest, he has to resolve evolution twice while being on any abyss square. So that's going to kind of affect my setup. We're going to talk about my strategy here. Let me take y'all to the twins so y'all can have a look at them. My strategy is going to be a little different. In all the games that I've played, the tutorial, which I played a couple times, lost both times, this scenario 1, which I played through once, got all messed up through different things, and then the one we played on the last video, the closest I ever came to winning was when I went very aggressive against the grief mound. So that's going to be my plan. Now, I did lose that scenario just getting overwhelmed, but right now with those 3 minions tied up, that's going to help. My other plan is to have either the Shadow or the Assassin working on minions, and we'll deal with the Elite when he comes out. But I'm going to be really aggressive against the grief mound. That's my plan. While we're on the twins, we'll talk about the only change I made. I did change out the weapons and the armor. I went with the claws this time. I'm going to put that in the dice cam so y'all can see it. I know this intro is already going longer than I wanted it to, but there are some changes I want to talk about. The only reason I went with the last one, which I think was the whip, was because it gave the assassin a range of, I think, 2. I'm going with the claws. They still allow me to use poison. Put that up a little closer. So basically, the assassin can deal 1 and 1 poison and 0. And then the shadow can deal 2 damage and 0. And he may discard 1 poison from this enemy. If you do, the shadow deals an extra. This card alone can do 4 damage. All right. And then I also changed out the armor. The only reason I went with the other armor was for the swapping places. 3+, you get to reset an action and re-roll a discarded dice. I didn't use it that often. It came in handy sometimes, and I could still see it coming in handy, but I wanted to try something different. So I went with the shadow armor, which for a shield, she can get a 2 shield. And if the shadow is in 0 from the assassin, I can get a 4 shield instead. A little bit better defense. And then for the 1 dagger, I could choose 1. I can teleport the assassin to the shadow space, and then the shadow can deal 1 and 0. So I do have a little bit of teleport. It's a little different. Where are we going from here? Anything else I need to cover? I don't think anything else changed about that. So we're going to go to the main board. And there's my cat. One of the ones that cause problems. Bird. Yep, I have a cat named Bird. And I think that's everything we need to go over. So we're going to get started. The only thing and I always do this, I'm supposed to place my characters before I roll, but we did not do that. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't have affected it because my strategy is simple. I put a portal in the abyss, and I'm going to start him. I'm going to start him in the abyss. The plan is to try to draw the convergence over to him. Then I'm going to start the shadow and the assassin over here. The plan with them is very simple. I'm going to take the shadow toward the top of the board. Try to draw the tornado that way. Not the shadow, the assassin to the top of the board. Take the shadow down here, deal with these minions. and then help with the convergence. Now, whether we cross the river or we try to go through the portals, we'll see. And that was another thing. I was so worried about going through that river that I avoided it. That may have been a mistake. I still don't want to do it. But if I feel like it's the right move, we are going to just do it. I'd like to win this one. So we're going to go, well, one more thing we need to do. We need to set our attack track. All the cards have been reshuffled, so it's not going to be the exact same as the last start. Did a better job of shuffling the evolution decks, so hopefully those are good. Shuffle the corruption deck. Shuffle the event deck, so that's going to start out a little different. Shuffle the stage deck, even though we only saw one in the last one. It was a rough one, so hopefully we'll get something not quite so rough. And I think we're ready to go. Since we decided to make the Clockwork Giant first, let's see. All right, he's got a movement of 1. Do we want him to move? He's got a lot of agility, and the only thing he can really use that for is sprint. So I might do that. But before that, I have a magic, and I have a double shield. All right, unfortunately, I may use that. Not yet, though. I may use this magic right here to gain a 2 shield. I also organized up here a little better. Everything's a little bit more interesting. We're going to put it on his card. And then he says he can deal 1 damage and 0 to 1. So he's going to take out this minion that quick. Grab him a lament. So that was easy. All right, that's one action. Second action. I don't think he's going to be able to use the other damage features. I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough because it's within 0. So what I may do is I may sprint. I have a sprint of 2. May sprint. And this is going to be, nope. Well, I still may do it. And basically, I could run because it's going to end up the same. All right, let me take a look. Which of these dice can I not use? I have no use for a dagger anywhere. So I may use this dagger to run instead. And that's going to go back up 1. Gain this lament. And leave him there. That'll be his 2 moves. Then we're going to go over here to the twins. Like I said, my goal is to take the assassin to the top of the board and the shadow down here. All right, most of their moves now, I think, are within 0. Yes, all of them are. So they really have to be on top of people to really take advantage, right? To get to that person, 1, 2, 3, to have to sprint. And unfortunately, the shadow needs to move 1 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I might have to run and sprint to kill off both of those guys. 1, 2, 3. She can't even get to that lament without 4. That's too bad. Wait, 1, 2. Oh, she can get to that lament with a 3. So we may sprint. Doesn't matter which one we use. Let's use this black one. And she's going to go 1, 2, 3. Pick up this lament. He's going to take the 4th move and come down here. All right. Now the shadow has to do 1 damage. For a dagger, the shadow can do 1 damage. No, that's the assassin. I'm sorry. I have two options here. I could use this bottom ability. I could teleport the assassin to the shadow, and the shadow will deal 1 and 0. That's only going to cost me a dagger. This here, unfortunately, I cannot do because I need 2 daggers and an agility, so I can't even do that one. Don't have the 2 daggers. So that may be what we have to do. Oh, I have to choose one. Oh, so never mind. I can put 1 dagger, and the shadow can do 1 within 0. So I do not have to teleport. He will kill off him, gain us another lament, and that is their 2 actions. All right, so now we're back on the Clockwork Giant. All right, I would love to get his second shield, and I would love to take him closer to the Convergence. He still has his sprint open, and to get... Uh-oh, hold on, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My wife came home, had to go and greet her. So back where we were. We're back over here with the Clockwork Giant. Okay, we're going to do a quick mulligan here. It's not going to change anything, but I'm going to swap out this magic for the double shield. It won't change anything. Just give me a magic instead of the double shield. All right, so for his first action on the second round, he's going to use that magic to gain another 2 shield. All right, so now he has done his first action. He's going to use one of his agilities to sprint, which is movement is 1. He gets to add 1, so he's going to go 1, 2. All right, so that's his 2 actions. Let's go to the board so you can get a little bit better view instead of the overall shot. Yeah, everything was set up a little better, but I had to turn everything off to save batteries. So everything's not quite lined up as well. Maybe I'll work on that. I'm sure I'll take another break here shortly. And I'll try to line everything up better. But for now, let's keep going. Now we are on the twins. All right. They have a shield, which they only have 1 action that uses a shield, or they can run with it, which is gain a 2 shield. If the shadow is in the... All right, so we don't have to do that. She's not going to be within 2. Then we can run. And that's really it. You can use the other one to get a tactic. But we are going to go ahead and spin this shield to get a 2 shield for the twins. All right, so now we have a double 2 agility symbols and nowhere to put either one of them. So we're going to run. All right, so that's 3 movement. All right, I can't remember for sure, but I think the tornado moves 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he can get to here, which I would be 2 spaces away, which I think is actually safe. I could be wrong. But to get away more than 2 spaces, I would have to go more than 3. So I think I'm going to leave her there. And I'm going to move him to 3 spaces. 1, 2, where was he? Here. 1, 2, 3. Move him there. All right, so that's their 2 actions. All right, so now let's go back to the Clockwork Giant. All he has left is 1 agility and no abilities that use a single agility. So he'll probably use that for tactics. But while he's in the abyss, we're going to use this action right here. Find out what it is. Gaze into the abyss, draw and resolve, secret card 44. We're going to see what that is. Hopefully this is something good. All right. 44. Oh, we got 3 options here. So Make sure I have all of them. Yep. Switch this up, guys. Take y'all to the main board. So y'all can see me. I'm going to shuffle these up. 44s. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there it is. We're going to take this top one. Put the rest of these back. And let's see. I'm going to put this in the dice cam real quick. Let y'all get a look at that. Turn that camera back on. Should come on in a second. There we go. I know the glare is not the best. Still trying to figure out this glare thing, guys. I pointed my lights in every direction, and I must just be doing something wrong. All right, y'all can pause that, take a look at it if you get a chance to read it. Take y'all back to the main board while I read this. All right, an Abyss Quest. The inscriptions on the walls of the Abyss are too faded to be read easily, or written in already dead language. But one word appears here, frequently enough to catch the attention. It is prison. Block, gaze into the abyss action with a symbol. Okay. Place this card next to the map. Quest. Purify the rift. Hunters on the Lament Rifts may perform the following actions. Discard one magic to place one of those stasis tokens on your space. If there are at least 4 Lament Rifts with one of those stasis tokens on them, or all rifts have a stasis token resolve. Discard all stasis tokens from all Lament Rifts. Draw Secret Card 4 and a random companion. Choose Hunters to gain it. If the players cannot agree, the first player decides. Put this card back into the secret deck. Okay. So basically, you have to discard a magic to place one rift, one of those stasis tokens, on your space. You have to be able to limit rift to do it. And if there are at least 2 times the number of rifts with this on it, or all rifts have it, you can do it. Okay, so we have to have one of those onto 4 Lament Rifts. And you cannot gaze into the abyss again until that is done. All right. So that's his action. Didn't cost him anything. Got some kind of quest. All right, so he is going to use his second action to get a tactic. All right. So that's his 2 turns, or 2 actions. And so now we're back over here. All the twins have is also an agility and nothing to spend it on, and they have no actions they can take. She's on a rift, but she doesn't have a magic symbol. So she is also going to spend that agility and also gain a tactic. All right. Then she has to pass. The Clockwork Giant, you can't gaze into the abyss again. I don't even know if you could do that more than once a turn anyway. Couldn't do that with this anyway. Action. Yeah, it just says action. It doesn't say once a turn or anything. So he could do it again if we didn't have that obstacle in the way. But he's not. He can't do that. He can't move. So he's going to pass. Okay, so that's a double pass. Okay. First things first. Deal with our first event. Let's see if it's one we've seen before or a new one. Iron Skin. Yes, I have seen that one before, but I'm going to take you out to the dice cam real quick. I'm going to try not to stay on the dice cam very long, so I'm going to put them up. If you want to try and read them, just pause it, because I have a tendency to stay on the dice cam too long and forget to move it. All right, Iron Skin. Place 1 lament on Rift 8. All right, so there's 2 over there now. The Griefbound gains a 2 shield. Right, I know he has. Oh, sorry, he already has one on. That should have been there. So there's his 2 shield. That's left over from the last game. Got to remove it, but now it's good now. For each hunter in there, oh, he might not be in his line of sight. Yeah, she's in. No, she's not. So he doesn't get it. There are no hunters in his line of sight. This one gets blocked by the mountain. This one goes this way. That one goes that way. So he does not get it. Each enemy in 1-1, so basically 1 for the Griefbound gains a 2 shield. Okay, we do get that though. This guy right here gets 2 shield. Yeah, these little holding things are not the best. They do work. If you're not facing a graveyard dragon, so that's that. Take this out of the game. Put that up there. And that is the event phase done, guys. Not bad, not bad. Let's deal with the minions. And we know we have only 2 minions on the board. Okay, if there's 100, 0 to 3. 1, 2, 3, no. 1, 2, 3, yes. Furious attack. Move 3, attack all hunters and 0 with 2 dice. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. Attack all hunters with 3 dice. No, with 2 dice. Okay. I'll take y'all to the dice cam real fast so y'all can see this, hopefully. Right, it gets 2. He gets an uncommon and the common. Not a good roll. So the twins are going to take 2 damage and a stun. Take y'all to the twins real fast. Alright, she's going to take 2 damage. She's going to get rid of her shield to take no damage. But she does get the stun. Alright, what do we want to stun? Right now, I'm going to stun her assist action. Okay, and then the other minion does not. He's going to run. He's going to move 3, gain a 2 shield, deal 1 damage and 1 stun to each hunter and 0 to 1. He can't gain a 2 shield because he already has 1. He has to move 3. The closest one is him, so he's going to go 1, 2, drift down river, and come back up 3. Okay. And there is no hunters in 0 to 1. So that is it for him. Alright, as far as the elite goes, we'll remove this token, which is going to spawn the same guy we had before. I'll flop him in the dice can real quick. Unfortunately, I moved the tray, so I might have to realign that, but we'll get that real quick. Let's go to the dice cam. Wow, that's pretty good. All right, like I said, I'll leave it there for a second. If you want to read it, just pause the video, take a look, go to the main shot. All right. All right, let's see. Spawn elite enemy on a portal space closest to the Griefbound. Right, so he's going to go to a spot closest to the Griefbound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so he's going to spawn right here. All right, well, we have a turn before he's going to become a problem. I kind of made a mistake, guys. I probably should not have sent the shadow this way if I have no intention of cutting through that river. We'll take a look at that when the time comes. But that is the elite phase. So now we move on to the Griefbound phase. I did not take a look at this card. I probably should have. Once again, I'll put it in the dice cam real quick so y'all can take a look at it. Like I said, the glare is there. I wish I could figure out why, but it is what it is. Then we'll go back to the main shot. And let's see. Move 2. Closest enemy He ignores the shadow, so he's going to go 1, 2. Okay, attack all hunters in line of sight with 1 dice. With 1 dice. All right, let's go to the dice cam real fast. He gets the common. All right, Convergence. On the common, he does 1 damage and 1 burn. All right, so let's take you back to the Keeper. Not the Keeper, sorry. Clockwork Giant. He's going to take 1 damage and 1 burn. All right, then he is focused. Each hunter in 0 to 3 takes 1 damage for each burn they have. All right, so he's going to take another damage. And then deal 3 burn to each hunter in 0 to 3. So he's going to take 3 more burns. All right, this is bad. Because of the Clockwork Giant's inability to heal, we really have to deal with that. He cannot afford to take 4 damage. And this card is now discarded. Reset the attack track. And we move up to step 5, which is the special. And for the special, attack all hunters. Oh, I should have wrote this down. In 0 to 1, which is none. He has nobody that close. With 3 dice, he doesn't have, and he gets to move 2. All right, so here's where we got to calculate who's the closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's that way. All right. That is not what I wanted. I guess I should have moved forward 1. That would have put me within 5. We have the same amount I could have chosen. I could have took them the other way. So what we may do is go through that portal. Try to bring the attack over there. That may be what we do. All right, well, that's that. That was pretty easy. Not too painful. Other than the 4 burn, that wasn't too bad. All right. So now we're going to go to the corruption step. Shouldn't be too bad since we have no hunger. And our corruptions are on 0, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, first card, and this is for the Clockwork Giant. I'm going to try to put all these cards in the dice cam at least for a short period of time. Let y'all pause and take a look if you want, and try to always go back to at least the main shot. We're not going to worry about the hunger because we have no hunger. Gain a 2 shield or discard 2. Oh, he's definitely going to discard 2 status tokens. That is not even a question. That is not even. It would have been nice to get another 2 shield, bump one of those up to 4, but nah. All right, next card. I'll put that in there real fast. All right. Pause and take a look. Go back to the main. All right. Okay, she can move or gain 2 shield. All right. This is interesting. The 2 shield, she could use it. She doesn't have one. But we are also at the end of the phase, so I can really set up something. But I actually think I like where they are, because I think the Griefbound is going to turn and come this way, because he's going to try and get through the portal. She could take care of that minion. So we're going to take the 2 shield. We're just going to take the 2 shield. All right. Put that on the bottom. Put those there. All right. I do believe we are on the lament phase, spending lament. We're going to start with the Clockwork, who is going to drop 1 to bump up 1. Draw his 2 cards. I have not looked at any of his cards. Like I said, I know he's very shield oriented. I'll take y'all to the dice cam real fast. All right, get a look. Pause that. Take a look at that. And since we're dealing with the keeper, I'll take you to the keeper's board. All right, let's see what the keeper got. First one, which I'm already not liking the symbols, double magic or a sword and agility. But let's see what it is. Winding up frenzy. Deal 1 damage and 0 to 1. On a minion kill, you may repeat this action, increasing the damage by 1. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. But I don't think we're going to have a lot of minions on the board much. So, and then we have next gear. Switch gear. Refresh 1 chosen action and restore 1 discarded dice, depending on the current gear. So in gear 1, you can get a black. Gear 2, you can get a blue. Gear 3, and gear 4, you can get a green. Gear 3, you get a purple. Switch gears. Refresh. You get to refresh an action no matter what. You get to refresh a dice depending on what gear you're in. That is kind of nice, but I think, once again, I do think at this stage, getting that 6th dice is worth it. All right, so we're going to take a look at what we have here. 2 purples and 3 blues. All right, so that means no blacks and no greens. Looking at his card, all of his actions over here are purples and blues. The only real agility he has is sprint. This is definitely tough. Do I want to take a 3rd magic before I take a sprint? I don't want a black at all. I mean, there's a good chance with that many dice of at least rolling 1 agility. So I think I'm going to take the purple. I'm going to take the shot and take a 3rd purple. Now, the hope behind this is that he will roll at least 1 agility on those 6 dice. Still taking a chance, but that's what we're going to do. And then he's going to spin this lament to go up to 2. I really want to get up this board fast. Like I said, I want to play aggressive. All right. And so let's take y'all to the Twins since it's their turn. They're going to do something similar. Drop off the 1 lament. Bump up to the first lock and draw 2 cards. Now, we've seen some of their cards in the last game, but I have done a really good shuffle on both of these evolution decks, so hopefully get something different. I'm going to put these in the dice cam real quick again, let y'all get a look at them. All right, take a little look, and then pause that if y'all need to. You want to read those? We're going to look at harming effect. Once per hunter phase, you may deal poison to an enemy. Then, you may choose to do 1 damage to that enemy for each poison token it has. If you do, discard half the poison tokens. Round it up. You know, this is one of the poison spenders. I may take this card. It's one of the first ones I've seen. Then I got Poison Strike. For 2 magic or a dagger and agility, deal 1 damage and 2 poison and 0. Look, I get 2 good cards. This stinks. But I'm going to take the harming effect. I'm just going to take it. It's one of the first poison spenders that I've seen. So we are going to take it. All right. Don't know if I'm happy about that or not. I'm really looking forward to getting a... I don't even know what this character needs. Did this have 1 shield thing? Lots. I guess I would have taken a 3rd black. So that's probably going to be her goal when she gets to 4. She's going to spend this last one to bump up to 2. All right. Let's take y'all to the main shot. This is the safest spot right now. Make sure we don't miss nothing. All right. Refresh. Is that where this happens? Yep, refresh step. Switch gears and resolve effect. All right, guys. I'm going to put this into the dice cam as well so y'all can see it. I don't know why it's all out of focus all of a sudden. Hopefully that thing will come in. There we go. There we go. This is the gear it's on now, gear 1. So we're going to move to gear 2. Oh, this is not good. He has a movement of 0. But he gets to gain a 2 shield. So it doesn't matter which one. We're going to swap this one out for a 2 for a 4. All right. So let's finish on. Okay, pass the first player token. Refresh all actions, regain all dice. I've pretty much done that already. Resolve all refresh effects. Okay, stasis step. Each hunter made. Okay, so we got to roll. First player is a twin, so we're already on the dice. See, I already left it on the dice cam once, guys. This is what I'm trying to avoid. All right, 1 double agility, 2 deck, a shield, and 1 magic. I'm gonna leave it on the dice cam long enough to roll these dice. All right, guys. Hope you can see those. What an interesting roll. No shields. Then I'm going to go back to the board. Let's go to the main shot for now, so I do not forget. 2 agilities. Move hers over a little bit. Give him some more room. And 4 magics. That is an interesting roll. He may be using that tactic. All right. Yep, and then we're back to the start. Hunter phase. All right. Now, we got to... This guy has a movement of 0, which means sprint. Wow, I don't think he can get through the portal. Because a run is 0 and a sprint is 1. He'd have to be on that square. Ouch. All right, so he may have to just really defense up. And plus, I also know that that guy is going to do the elite thing. So I really need to consider this. The next phase is spawn, but that is after the elite. This minion is going to move. And that minion, if I stay there, he will stay there. But unfortunately, that would mean he would leap over there to the twin, to the assassin. Huh. Now, what will he do if there are no minions on the board? Let's see. Okay, there's no minions on the board. Otherwise, bellow. Move 2, which he'd move forward 1. Deal 4 damage and 2 hunger to each hunter and 0 to 1. Wow, but he should have some shields to swallow some of that up. All right, so that just may be what we have to do. He may just have to suck it up. Because that minion is going to move unless the shadow takes him out. All right, so let's take a look. And then if he leaps, because that minion is going to move. All this is open information. If they're 100, 0 to 3, there it is. Move 3. So he's going to move there anyway. And if he runs, he'd move 3. So yeah, that minion is going to be there. He'll do a furious leap now instead. A Attack all hunters with 2 dice. Which, I mean, that could be risky. Because he could do 6 damage. And 2 hunger if I don't. So, you know what? It's still made better to take the other thing. So I'm going to try to kill these minions. And we'll just deal with the bellow. Okay, in order to kill that minion, does the shadow have to be in 0? I do believe all my attacks are 0. So that means he has to go into the river. Now, he could do this in one of 2 ways. If he goes 1, 2, drifts down river, and then he could go back up 1, 3. That would be a move. But he could go 1, 2, 3. Either way, it's 3. Either way, it's 3. Either way, either way, either way. All right. So, we want the assassin to take out that minion. So what can she do? One, two, three, 4. He could pop up over there. And we could just, yeah, but like I said, we want to kill that minion. Man, this is where I wish I could actually have some damage in 0 to 1. And none of them have that. Alright, I'm going to spin this dagger. And the assassin deals 1 and 1 poison and 0. Kill this guy. I have to worry about the poison part of it. Get a lament. Alright, let me move you out to the board. You don't really need to see all that right now. Alright. In order for the shadow, he'd have to move into the river. There's no way around it. And I think we're going to risk it. I don't like it. I really don't think the shadow should have to deal with that stuff. But it says he does. She's going to gain 2 burns, or discard 2 burns, which she does not have. Which we did not deal with the burn with that guy. But he would have discarded a dice to get rid of one of... to get rid of one of these, because he had this one. Then he would have taken 1 damage. What I think I would have done is gotten rid of the shield to not take that damage. And then instead of bumping that up to a 4, I would have took the 2 back. So that's how that would have went. So that's where we would be. Alright, so that's better. Glad we caught that up. And he still has a burn on him. Alright, so I'm going to gain 2 curses. And move 1 space downriver. Alright, I have to move 3, which is just a run. I don't have to sprint. So any dice. Let's see which dice I'm not going to use. I've already got a 2 shield. We're not going to be in 0. So we don't I could make that a 4. Can't do that action because we don't have the 2 daggers. So he's going to have to do this. The shadow deal. So he's going to need to use this dagger. And then to run, I can use the cleanse to take care of the 2 burns when I get them. Or the 2 curses. So that's good. So that would use up that. So then I have the double move and the shield. And I can use the shield to bump this. So we're going to use the double move. You know, let's go ahead and put it in sprint. There's no reason not to have an extra movement that if I need, I can use. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2. Slide down the river, back up to 3. All right. So we take 2 curses. Where are the curses? Something I have not even done these yet. 2 curses. And I do believe when you get a curse, you got to draw a card. There's some curse cards. Hold on. Okay, when you gain a curse, draw 1 random secret card 1. Alright, 1 random secret card 1. There's quite a few of those. What's this last one? That's a 2. Okay, so that's them. Take y'all to the main shot real quick. So y'all can see me shuffle these up. There's basically 5. We're gonna shuffle these up. Where we go, where we go, where we go, where we stop, nobody knows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, here we go. Top card. I'll put that in the dice cam, which may have turned off by now. Yeah, so we'll fix that real quick. All right, pause that. Take a look. And so I don't forget, we're going to go ahead and put this on the twins real quick while I read this curse. Curse of Vulnerability. As long as you have this card, you cannot discard burn or stun tokens. If you have no curses, put this card back to... Well, we're going to get rid of this quick. All right. And so... For our next action, we are going to go ahead. I'm in no hurry to cleanse. I know I'm going to do it. So I'm going to spin this 1 dagger. And I get to the shadow deals 1 and 0. So that will... Oh, this guy has a shield. Did not think about that, guys. He's not going to kill him. Uh-oh, we are in trouble now. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, c'est la vie. I'll move the 1 shield token. That's the way it goes. All right, that's 2 actions. But I have 1 more move. I want to decide if I want to move with the assassin. And I think I do. I don't like her in that corner right now with everything going on. So she wanted to move 1 space for the 4 from sprint. Right, so everything's caught up there. Why do I feel like we're messing up? Like we're taking too many actions. All right, so we're going to, because don't look like the clockwork's done anything. So we're going to go ahead and put that shield back on. So we would have, she'd have done 1 damage and we'd have sprinted. Okay. All right, so then it would go over to the clockwork. And he has one burn, which he does want to deal with. He got a lot of magic to deal with that. And like I said, his movement is a problem. And he is about to get hammered. Really bad. He is about to get hammered. Okay. And he could deal 1 and 0 to 1. So here's what I might do. I can run. No, I can't run. I got to sprint. I can sprint, which will move me 1 space forward into the space with the Griefbound. This sounds like a plan. This sounds like a plan. We're going to sprint. Because my movement is 0. Y'all on my right camera, aren't you? Yeah. No. So we're going to put this movement into run. No, into sprint. I'm sorry. Because my movement is 0, sprint is movement plus 1. He gets a 1 movement. So let's take y'all to the board. He's going to move 1 space forward into the space with the Griefbound. That's action 1. For action 2, he is going to spend 1 magic so he can gain a 2 shield. Bump one of them up to a 4. Doesn't matter which one. And then deal 1 damage and 0 to 1. So he's going to knock the shield off this guy. All right, let me get a drink real quick, guys. I'm not used to doing all this talking. I just finished up the last video. And because I've gotten behind, because the last video took so long, I jumped right into this one once I got that one edited and everything else. And that is his 2 actions, yes. So we are going to come over here to the twins. Now, he can spin this dagger to deal 1 damage and 0 and knock this guy out. Get a lament. Then, while we're thinking about it, we are going to go ahead and cleanse. Get rid of these 2 curses. Which allows, is this the curse? Put this back on. We'll put it on top, because if we have to do it, we'll shuffle it then. And that's their 2 actions. All they have left is the shield. Alright, so now we're going to go back over to the Clockwork, who has a bunch of magics, and that's it. Now, he can gain a 2 shield and move 1. Which, if I were to move, I would move up here. Let me see what the Griefbound is going to do. He's going to move 4. So if I stay there, he's going to stay there. If I move, he's going to move to me. He's going to deal 3 damage to each hunter and 2 to 3, which he won't be able to do that. Each hunter in 0 to 1 moves any line as far as possible from Griefbound as possible. Whoa. So if I move there, he'd move me that way, which would be 1, 2, 3 damage. If I stay here, he'd move me here, which would only be 2 damage. But if I move back 1 and he moves, he would knock me straight back. I'd only take 1 damage. So we are going to do that. We are going to do that. We are going to spend 1 magic to gain a 2 shields. So now we have 2 4 shields. And we're going to move 1 straight back. All right. Now we have an agility and a double magic. All right. So none of you can't use nothing there. can't use that again. So we are down to tactics, which we have, cleanse, which we could use, and the agility then really can't do anything. Because even if I re-rolled it with the tactics and got the double shield, because it's still within 0 and there's nobody in 0, so it would do me no good. But I'm going to go ahead and spin this double magic on cleanse. Get rid of this burn. Alright, that's his 2 actions. So he can wait and figure out what he wants to do with that. Let me go back over here to the twins, who now have a shield. The only thing they can do, they could run, which not necessarily a bad thing. I can start moving the shadow closer to this portal because I want to teleport through that portal, especially since the Greekbound we know is going to knock him through it, to it. And I can start moving the shadow this way. Not the shadow, the assassin this way. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Other thing I can do is gain a 2 shield, which will bump this up to 4. I really think the movement is a better idea. So we're going to go to run. Now I really got to decide, where do I want the shadow to be? We do know that he is going to move here. And I do believe that he is going to do the bellow. Let me take a look at this card again. He's going to move, so they're all going to be in this square. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the shadow would get knocked out of that square if he goes there. So what I could do is I could move him all the way back here with my run of 3. 1, 2, 3, and have him ready to go through that portal. That would mean she'd have to stay there. Because putting him here, I could put him here. And then when I get knocked out, I can knock him out to this square, safe space. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go 1, 2, move into this square. And then we're going to move her 1 this way. We might interact with that. No, I think you got to spend tokens, which I don't have. And then they have nothing left to do. She can't heal. She doesn't have tokens to interact with the forest either. I do believe the coffins require you to spin the dice. Have all that stuff right here, guys. Let me take a look. Yeah, so she can't even do that. So they have to pass. They have no choice but to pass. They have no other actions they can take. So let me make sure I haven't messed this up right here. Oh, this is the spinning poisons. We haven't even put poisons on anything. Which is why the assassin really needs to get up onto the elite and the Greekbound. Start putting some poison on stuff. Alright, well they pass. So now we come over here to the clockwork. All he has left is an agility. Running is pointless since his movement is 0. None of his other skills use an agility. She's already passed, so there's no point in doing an assist. I could spin the tactic, try to re-roll the dice, hope to get, there's nothing he could get that he could use. A double shield, but he's already got 2 4 shields. If he was in 0, he could really use it. Double shield. Oh, he can move 2 and deal 1. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm going to spin the tactic. We're going to give this a shot, guys, to re-roll this. Now, what we're hoping for is double shields. We're hoping for double shields. Take you out to the dice cam. All right, guys. Let's see how this is going to go today. Double shields, double shields. Got an agility. Take you back to the clockwork. So really the only thing he can spend it on is tactics to get his tactic back. Alright, so he spent a tactic. So his 2 turns, they've already passed. It's back to him. He's got a ninja, he passes. Alright, so that's the second hero phase down, hunter phase down. And we deal with our next event, event 2. The fact that we haven't done any damage to the Convergence in 2 rounds kind of bothers me. I wanted to be aggressive against him, so I really have to step that up in this next round. Take y'all to the dice cam so y'all can see that card. All right. Let's take y'all to the main shot, the safe shot, so you don't miss anything. Let's see what we got here. A dimension door. Each hunter may gain 1 stun to teleport to a chosen portal. Wow. Wow. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the 1 stun. I'm going to put it on the assist. And he is going to teleport to this portal. And we're not fighting the Tormentor. That's my cat, guys. He's a good boy. Alright, so now we've got to decide if the twins want to do this. There's no point. They're going to ignore the shadow, so he can stay right where he is. And she's right there. She has no reason to go anywhere. So she's not going to take a stun. Alright, that's the second event down. Alright, we're going to move to the minion phase, and there are no minions, so they get skipped. Now we have an interesting scenario with the elite. There are no minions on the map. So he's going to bellow. Move 2. 1, 2. Didn't mean to move my map around like that. And then he bellows. Deal 4 damage at 200 to each hunter and 0 to 1. And because the shadow does not take damage, it does not affect him. So we actually avoided damage there. Good job. Okay. So now we deal with this card. I'll put it in the dice cam for y'all so y'all can see it real quick. I think I've already read it once, but at least part of it. Y'all can try and pause that and take a look at it if you want. Go back to the main shot. And we'll look at, he is focused. So he's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here by both of them. That would be a smart, that was what he would do. Now he's within 1 of both of them. So he was here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually good for us. I mean, we might get hurt. Okay, each hunter in 0 to 1 moves in a straight line as far away from the grief pad as possible. Okay, so he can't move any. Moving away. Well, no, he can go this way. This is away. So he's going to take 1. She's going to back up 1 and take 1. Actually, he's not going to take any. He wants to. I know it sucks, but I don't want him to take damage. She can heal, and she only backed up 1, so I'm going to take her 1. All right. And that's it. That is another attack discarded. Refill the attack track. All right. Really would like, this one has 5. I'd really like to take this out. Each hunter and 0 to 2 from each tornado teleport to the closest space with a tornado. All right. So then we spawn. Alright, so we spawn 4 minions. Alright, so we got 1 on 4. What is this? 1 on 2. 1 on 3. And 1 on 1. Alright. This is not bad. I actually like this. And that is the second part of the villain phase. Alright, so now we're on the corruption phase. Let's deal with the corruption. Alright, now that our first player is the twins, let's put this down once again. There's no hunger on the board. Let's just take a quick look at that card. Alright, pause it if you need to. And then we're going to go to the twins. And we're going to just skip the hunger part since she has no hunger. Okay, she has 0 to 4, gain a 2 shield or discard 2 status tokens. She has no status, so she'll take the 2 shield. Put that shield up to a 4. Like that. And that's it. Now for the next one. Take you to the dice cam real quick. Take a look at that. Alright, then I'll take you to the clockwork. Once again, no hunger. 0 to 5, heal 2, which he cannot do. Or discard 2 status. And he has no status, right? He has nothing on him, nope. So he gets nothing out of that. Remember, he cannot heal. That is the one thing about him. He cannot heal. It'd be nice if he could, but he cannot. Then we're on the lament phase. Alright, she's going to spin both. Go up 2. Draw 2 cards. Now, I'm really looking to get a dice here, guys. I'm hoping that I draw some of those cards that I don't like. Alright, let's take you to the dice cam real quick. Y'all can take a look at that. Pause it if you want to. We'll go to the twins. And we will look at her cards. Hit and run. Deal 2 damage and 0 to 1 and teleport to the shadow space. You know, it's funny they put that on there. Well, I guess it could be the shadow does the damage and then she teleports to the shadow. And then the shadow teleports to the assassin space and does 2 poison and 0. Well, I have to choose one. It's a good card, but I'm not worried about not having it. Moment of weakness. Deal 1 damage and 1 poison, 0 to 1. Then you may discard any number of poisons from the attacked enemy to choose one effect for each poison discarded. Refreshing action. Yeah, you know, I'm fine with losing both of these. Okay, the first time he did evolve, he was in the abyss, so he has to do that one more time, guys. Something we got to keep in mind to complete his quest. All right, so she's going to get a dice, and I'm going to take a black dice, I believe. Let me look at her abilities. Move all these dice. She's going to refresh them in a minute anyway. Yeah, she needs a lot of daggers, so she's going to take a black dice. And unfortunately, the clockwork has none. She didn't get any lament left face, so he can do nothing. All right. Then we have the refresh step. We need to switch his gear. We saw 2. I'm going to move it to 3. Let y'all see what he gets. Take you out to the dice cam. Hopefully still on. Yep. Pause that. Take a look. And we'll go to the keeper real quick. Let's see what it says. Take 1 damage. And then I can set one of my dice to the chosen side. My movement was I have to take 1 damage. Wow. Oh. But I get to set one of my dice where I want it instead of rolling it. Wow. So, what would I like to see? I think I want a double shield, guys. That would allow me to do this. Move 2, 1, 2, get into his space, and they'll do 1 damage. I can do 2 damage. If I get a 4 on this, or at least a 2, I can do a lot of damage to the Greek now. So we're going to set that there. And his movement is 1 this turn. All right, I like that. I like that. All right, so let's go back to the main shot. And let's take a look. Pass the first player token. Refresh all dice. Okay, so let's roll our dice. We are going to go to the dice cam real fast. I'm going to do this as quick as I can. Starting with the first player, which is the Clockwork, who has his double shield already. It's another shield, a dagger, and the rest are all magic symbols. All right, let me roll the twins really fast. Oh, wow. 1 movement. I would like to see more of that. Lots of daggers, including some double daggers, and a couple of shields. All right, let's get you off of that so we do not get stuck on that screen. All right. And then I just believe we're back to step 3. Okay. The goal of this is to take out at least one of those cards and put some damage on that one. That is my goal. All right, the keeper is in a position where he has a minion right on him. And he would like to get that at least a 2 shield. I would love to see a 4 shield. All right, so we're saving this for this. That's going to get him moved to 1, 2. So we don't have to worry about moving. Let me take you out to the Clockwork while I talk about this. So we're going to save that double shield for that. Now, then I can spend a shield or a magic, gain a 2 shield, and deal 1 and 0 to 3. That's good. That's not. So if I do this, which would cost me either this shield or one of these magics, then do this, which would cost me one of these magics, I can have the 4 shield. So, first things first, we're going to spin. What would I rather have left, the shield or the magic? I think I'm going to save the magic. That way, if I get something, I can use cleanse. Get rid of that stun on assist anyway. So we're going to put the shield here, which allows me to get a 2 shield and deal 1 and 0. So that'll take out this guy, which will get me 1 lament. All right, so that's 1 action. Now we're saving this one. So I think we're going to spend a magic to gain a 2 shield, which will bump this up to 4, and move 1. Okay, that, my friends, is his first turn of this round. Now we have to think about the assassin and the shadow. Like I said, I really, really want to focus on the convergence. Now, in order for her to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 5 movement points, they don't have that. They can move 4, but not 5. But I would love to pull this off. I can teleport to the assassin's space for a shield. No, teleport the assassin to the shadow. No, I don't want to do that. So that's not good. This is the one. All right. So I need to get both of them into the square. So I'm going to have to move and sprint. That's going to cost me an agility here. So let's go ahead and put this agility here. I can't. Because I'm going to have to spend a tactic at some point. And I would love to be able to re-roll this. So I may, man, if I run now, move 3, go 1, 1, 2, 3, put him there. Because I want to re-roll both of these. Now, if I wanted, I would not. Why would I spend that one? So I'm gonna have to re-roll this one, and I can re-roll that one as well. Because I only need, and I need a double dagger, so I got to keep this one. Those two I got to keep. Got what I need there. And for this one, I don't need that one. And for to do this one as well, I need a dagger. So I can re-roll these 3. I might go ahead and do that now, just to see how this works out. So we're going to spin this tactic. All right, what I'm hoping for, I think, is just an agility symbol. I got a green dice in here, so we got a good shot. Sorry, guys, should have had you on the twins, but we're going to go to the dice cam, which should probably shut off. Yep. I'm going to reset that. All right, we need an agility. I don't care what dice it lands on. As long as I get an agility, I'm good. Just did not get one. All right. We do not have to count spinning a tactic as a turn. So I'm going to spin this double shield on tactics. Get a tactics, spin the tactics, and re-roll these 2. You're still on the dice cam, right? Come on, we need an agility. Got it. Good. That was a good roll. All right, so that's 1 turn down. I'm going to count that as a turn. So we've done 2. And now we're back to the clockwork. Get another drink real quick, guys, while I look at the board. Okay. Now, we're going to put this double shield. Let me take y'all to clockwork. We're going to put this double shield in this ability, which allows me to move up to 2. We're going to move 1 into this square. And then I'm going to deal, you can deal 1 for every 2 shield and 2 for every 4 shield. Since I have 2 force shields, I'm going to deal 4 damage to the Convergence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I need to. Right, this one needs to slide. This one's 6. Alright, that's good. 1 more and that attack gets down. Alright, that's 1 action. Alright, so all of his attack abilities have been used. So now he has no need. He can cleanse. I think we're going to go ahead and cleanse. Get this stun off his assist. So that's his 2 actions. That'll give me time to figure out what to do with these other 2 dice. Alright, so now we're back to the twins, who now have what they need. They have to run and sprint. All right, so let's go ahead and get the sprint out of the way. So he can go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now, hold on. Let me see if I want to do it that way. No, we're going to back him up 1 and let her move 1 more forward. Then I can spin this 1 dagger so that the assassin can do 1 damage and 1 poison. And 1 damage. That puts that at 5, which will kill it. All right, so this attack is now defeated. Out of the game. All right, so we gain 2. He gains 1. And that's that. This attack is now out of the game. Now let's look at what happens. Okay, on a grief-bound card kill, roll 1. Okay, so we have to roll 1 dice. Oh man, I'm sorry guys. This is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna keep it on the board for now. All right, let's take you to the dice cam really fast. Roll 1 dice. All right, here's the card. Pause that, take a look at it. And we got the common. All hunters in 0 to 2 may move 1 or refresh 1 chosen action and refill the attack track. All right, so we're going to refill the attack track first. Let's go ahead and get that done. Good thing about that is it gives me a second option to attack something different. Because they're both 6s now. Okay. I'll take you to villains real quick. The grief mounds. That's the new setup. I'm going to take you back to the board. And what was the other thing we had to do? Let me take a look at that again. All hunters in 0 to 2 may move 1 and refresh 1 chosen action. Oh, this is good. This is good. I'm going to refresh this one. Man, if I had a shield instead of a... I'm going to... I might refresh this one. Because then I can use the magic to deal 1 and 0 to 1. So even if he gets bumped out, he can do it. Because if I refresh this one, I'm not going to have a double shield, and I don't have a shield. And the odds of me spending a tactic and rolling a purple and getting a shield are pretty rare. And taking a shot at... I could roll both and hope to get a magic and a shield, which is possible. Because then I could do this one again. You know what? I think I might go for broke here, guys. And refresh this one. All right, we're taking a huge chance here, guys. Because on my turn, I'm going to take a tactic. Spin the tactic and re-roll this blue, hope for a shield, and this purple, hope for a magic. Then I can do this again, which is going to put a lot of damage on that guy. All right, so now let's take a look at the assassin. What action do they want to refresh? All right, we know we're spending this. So all we'll have left is double daggers. I can refresh this. Spin that double dagger there. And then the assassin will deal 1 and 1 poison and 0. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to refresh this. All right. So whose turn is it? It is still ours. Because all we did was attack, did the 1 damage. What, did we sprint this turn? Yeah, we did, because we sprinted, adjusted, put her into... So we've done 2, so we're done. Alright, so now we are back to the Clockwork. Alright, the Clockwork is going to take his huge chance here, spin this tactic. He has to reroll both of these to have any real shot. Let me get rid of this. We are going to put it onto the dice cam. I think we got it. A magic and a shield. We did. Alright, guys, let me pause this and then I will get right back. Okay, we are back, guys. The Clockwork just made his amazing roll. Got the dice that he needed, so we are going to go to the Clockwork real quick. Alright. He is going to spend his double magic and his shield here. Now, he is not going to move. It says move 2. We're going to move 0. It's up to 2. He does not have to move that. And then he's going to deal 2 damage for every 4 shield. He's going to do 4 damage. Now the question is, where do I want to put that 4 damage? Now if I put it on this one, and then we take it out, because whatever I do, I'm going to take out. I have to realize, if we do update, then he'll do this. So let's figure out which one we'd rather have him do. Move 1, focus, all tornadoes move 4. That should not be an issue. Deal 3 damage to each hunter and 0 to 1, which that would be both. Attack 1 hunter and 0 to 1 with 4 dice. If no hunter attack, resolve a special. So that's, if you do this one, all tornadoes move 3. Deal 3 damage to each hunter and 0 to 1 from Griefbound. Resolve special and focus resolve special. I think I want to kill the chain lightning. It seems like it's the worst. Alright, so that's what I think we're going to do. So we did 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take you back to... I'm going to take you to the building right quick. We got the 4 damage onto the main attack card, and I'm going to take you back to the board. Alright, so that's his 2 actions. He spent his tactic to reroll his dice. Then he did his attack. He's got no more dice anyway. So now we're on the twins. Alright. Now, here's what I got to decide. I can knock that card out easy. Then I could do, you know what, we're going to, how much damage is left on this thing? 2? It's at 6, we've done 4. It may be better. I can't move. All right, I kind of made a mistake. Because I can't move. I cannot get the shadow into the space. So we may not do this. What we may do is take this double dagger, put it in run. That will allow us to move 3. Then I could put the shadow into this space and knock somebody out. Either the Clockwork or the assassin. Now the smart thing you would think would be the assassin, because this is what we're going to be dealing with. Because we're going to kill that card. Alternators move 3. Deal 3 damage to each hunter and 0 to 1. But there is something else I can do. I may not have to knock her out. I'm moved, so I can move her 2 spaces, back her up, or take her this way. That may be what I do. Resolve special and resolve special. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to move in. We're going to move her too. I could actually move her even further if I think about it, because if I knock her out first, then the tornadoes come there. So I'm going to... Trying to play this, because you know the tornado is going to come straight across up there toward us. And we got this minion to deal with here, and a minion up there. I think I'm going to send her this way. I'm going to move in, knock her out 1. And then for the rest of my moves, which is 2 more, I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to get into space with this guy. Now, I do have to worry about this. So this might not be the best idea, because he's going to do the frog leap thing. So I'm just going to put her here. Which I may have to deal with the frog leap thing anyway, because that guy's going to move. And he's going to move to the closest minion near a hunter. How far are these minions going to move? Any hunters in 0 to 3? 1, 2. So yet there is there. So he's going to move there, and he's going to move there. But if I stay there, he'll go there, he'll go there. I kind of split this damage up a little bit instead of putting it all onto the clockwork. And then he is going to do the leap thing. Is there any... Teleport to a space with a minion closest to any hunter. They both have one in the same space. I guess technically he does who's closer. So that would be this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 versus way over there. And then he's going to kill the minion. Attack all hunters and 0 to 1 with 2 dice. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move where I am. Okay. So we ran. Now I'm going to spend this dagger and this here. And I can deal 2 damage and 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 6. So that would knock out this card. And we get 2 lament each for that. Okay. This card is now out. And once again, we roll 1 dice. Let me turn on this dice cam real quick. That way it's ready. And we're going to go to that dice cam to see this one. Oh boy, I forgot to set this up. All right, there we go. Let's show you the card again real quick. To put it on the edge like that, actually, no, that shows a reflection pretty bad too. All right, well, there it is. You got to roll 1 dice, and we're really looking for... I'd like to not refill the tech track. So it's really just the uncommon. So that's kind of what we're looking for. If we get the rare, All hunters in 0 to 2 may move 2 and heal 2, and then refill the attack trick. The heal 2 would help her, not help him. Refresh one chosen action wouldn't help me because we have no more dice. So really the only thing that's really going to help me is the uncommon. Did we get it? Yes, we did. Okay, uncommon. Do not refill the attack track. So that means the Griefbound is going to do nothing this turn. Okay, that is good. Look at the terrible glare on that. Goodness gracious. There's got to be a way I can do better than that. Alright. With that kind of glare, we're going to try something. Nope, that ain't helping. I cannot figure out where this glare is coming from, guys. Alright, that's why that's so loose. Alright, I don't know if maybe it's this window again. Cats have been in here. Nope, that's not it either. Maybe I move it forward a little bit. That is better. Why is there such a terrible glare? And I know if I move this, it's going to mess the camera up. I cannot figure out where that glare is coming from, guys. Because that looks terrible. Wasn't this bad earlier. It's a light shining right on that dice, and I cannot figure out what it is. Maybe it's this one. No, that ain't helping. All right, let's try turning this light off. Helped a little bit. Man, this is terrible, guys. Let me stop this, and then we will come back. All right, guys. I wasn't able to get rid of the glare totally, but it is definitely better. So we're going to roll from there. So basically all that happened was that the attack track will not be refilled. Let me get you off of this screen before I go move on. Let's go to the main shot where we figure out what we're doing. All right. So we did the attack. So that's our 2 turns. Now we're over to the Clockwork, who has no dice. He could interact with the Forest, but he has no dice to do that. So I really think he is done. He might have to pass. I can think of nothing he can do. So he's going to pass. We're going to come over here back to the Twins, who, let's see, when you deal poison to an enemy, you may choose to deal 1 to that enemy for each poison token it has. If you do, discard half the poison token. Well, he only have 1, so that's not really worth it. Okay, so they pass. All right. So that is the end of the Hunter phase. And we did pretty good, guys. We knocked out 2 attack cards on that round. So we're going to go to the vent. Vent's stuck together. I don't know why these cards are sticking together. There we go. I'm going to put this in here. Let's go to that little dice cam. All right. Y'all check that out. I'll take it back to the board. And I'm going to read this card real quick. Living Flames. Place one lament and one burn on. Oh, I remember this one. One lament and one burn on each lament rift. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and last but not least, 8. 8 has got 3 laments sitting on. That'd be a great one to pick up. Don't know when we're ever going to make it over that way, but okay. Uh-oh, if you're fighting the Convergence, which we are. Each hunter in 0 to 1 from a lament rift gains 2 burns. So you have to be within 0 to 1. So the only one that is the assassin. So she is going to gain 2 burns. She also has this, which she should have got rid of during her corruption stage, but we did not do it. Because I'm trying to remember what her options were. She was the first player then, so it should be the bottom card. Heal 2 or discard 2 stasis effects, but we're just going to run with it. I didn't do it, so that's on me. Okay, so that's another event down. All right, so move on to our minions. I've already put that in the dice can, so I'm not going to do that again. If there's a hunter in 0 to 3, move 3. 1, 2, 3. This guy's always the first one to get knocked out. So I'm going to move him by the rift. All right. Then we have that one up there. Well, let's do this. Let's do this one at a time so we don't mess this up. And 0. Okay, move 3. Attack all hunters in 0 with 2 dice. All right. So basically with this one, let's get to the dice cam. We'll pop that card in there real quick so you can see the numbers we're looking at. All right. So we would like to see some of the rares, which probably not going to see, but we got 2 uncommons. No, we got 2 rares. He actually suffers nothing. What a roll. What a roll. All right. So that's him. Then we're going to go ahead and move this guy. He's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Over to the assassin. Attack with 2 dice. Still on the dice cam, so that's good. Alright, we got an uncommon and a common, which is going to deal 2 damage and a stun. She's going to drop her shield, take no damage, but she will take the stun. We don't want to put it on cleanse because we're going to need it. Um, I'm going to put it on this one. Alright. So that's him. And then we have this guy way over here. And there's nobody within 0 3, so he's going to run. Move 3. Just going to go straight across. 1, 2, 3. Gain a 2 shield. And then deal 1 damage and 1 stun to each hunter, so nothing. That's it for him. There are no more on the board. So we move over to the elite. Here we go with the elite. If there is a minion on the map, which there are, he's going to Hungering Leap. Teleport to a space with a minion closest to any hunter. Alright. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Technically, he's closer. But this is an interesting quandary here. Because if he does it, jumps into that space, he's supposed to knock somebody out. Oh, and within 0, so it doesn't matter. He'll kill one within 0 to 1. So it doesn't. So he's going to leap to this space, kill this minion. Attack all hunters in 0 to 1 with 2 dice. Alright. At this one, doesn't matter what you roll, you're going to get something. Two commons. Woo, that was the worst thing he could have rolled. 6 damage and 2 hunger. Alright, so he's got to take the 2 hunger. But we are not taking 6 damage. You know what? I'm not going to take any of them. I'm going to drop both my 4 shields. Because he's not going to activate this turn. So I'm going to take no damage. And that is his turn. Alright, so then we go to the Convergence, which has nothing to attack with. So we update the attack track. That's the end of his turn. And this goes over to stage. Get our first stage card. Hopefully this is different than the last one. We'll put this in here. Oh, it's already up there. Sorry, guys. Let me take you out to the board real quick. So he leaped over here, knocked the minion out, killed the minion, tagged him, rolled the dice. You saw that. And now we're up to the Griefbound. Had no attacks. So now we're here. We're going to do Twin Tornado. Oh boy. Resolve immediately. Level up the Griefbound and each elite. So they're going to level 2. Place a second tornado model on the limit rift closest to the Griefbound. The limit closest to that's this one. Alright. And then discard this card. So this card is out of the game as well. No, it doesn't say remove for game. It says discard. Alright, so I guess this one will be shuffled back in later. But it's out for now. Alright. So we are now through the enemy phase. What camera y'all? Man. I've got to keep y'all on the board. So basically, he just spawned closest. Oh no, it says closest lament rift, not portal. So he's still going to spawn. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I can put it on either one, or that one up there even. I'm going to put it. This is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I got 3 options. Let me make sure that's what it said. Did it say portal or did it say lament rift? Yeah. All right. Once again, we are in a crowded situation. We have the elite, we have the griefbound, we have a minion. I don't really think it matters where I put this guy. But I'm thinking about putting him up here. And here's what I'm thinking. I think we're going to try and pull the griefbound this way. Get away from those tornadoes. And that's the closest the two tornadoes can be to each other. All right, so we're just going to go with that. All right, so now we move to the corruption step. All right. First corruption. Okay, now here's where our trouble is because the clockwork does have hunger. I hope that he does not kill the twins. Hunger. Get a hold of yourself. Hunger. Move one toward the chosen enemy. For each hunger you have, deal 1 damage and 0. For each hunger you have, 1 damage and 0. For each hunger you have, for each damage dealt, discard 1 hunger. So he gets to do damage to an enemy. So he's not going to move, but he's going to do 2 damage. The question is, do I do that to the grief mount or do I do that to the elite? I've seen how much damage we can do to the grief bound. I kind of want to take this elite out this round. I think I want to focus on it. So I'm going to put the 2 damage onto the elite. And then I get to discard the 2 hunger. All right, so then he's only on 2, so he gets 0 to 8. Heal 2 or lose 1 corruption. At the end of the corruption step, reshuffle. So he can either heal 2, which he cannot heal, or so he has to lose 1 corruption. That's unfortunate. You don't get to resolve locks when you go backwards, so that's it for him. Now, I don't think I showed you all that card, but sorry. We're going to do the twins. I'll show you this one. Just going to stay there for a second. Hopefully y'all can read that. Then we're going to go back to the board. No hunger. Move or gain a 2 shield. All right, so she can move 3. 1, 1, 2. She can move 2 to that portal or move past that portal. Kind of get away from that tornado. Getting into that square is going to be a problem. Because we're going to be knocking each other in and out of that square. One thing I have to look at is I know that the shadow always gets knocked out first. My question is, can we knock the elite out if I put 2 heroes in that square? I know the griefbound is last. So that's something we're going to have to look up. I'm going to look that rule up real quick, guys, before I make this decision. I know I have the rule book somewhere. Here we go. I've seen a flow chart on this before. I wish I'd have took a picture of it. All right, so I'm assuming it's going to be Alright, this is all set up. Spaces. Hunters may choose which models to push, while enemies have to push. Oh, so the hunters get to choose who they push. Oh, that's nice. Alright, so that changes things. I can knock the elite out of that square. I can move 3 spaces. So what I could do is go 1, 2, knock the elite in with the shadow, and I would have to stay there. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. So that would be the end of the corruption phase. Alright, so now we move to the lament phase. And because he is first, he's going to spend 3. Let me take you to him so we remember to do this. He's going to spend 3. 1, 2, 3 to go up to 4. Draw 2 evolutionary cards. Put those in the dice cam for you. Let's go there real quick. Leave them there for just a second. I think we've already seen that power attack before. So then let's go back to Clockwork. As I take a look at these cards and see which one I want. Oh, this one is a little different. Wow, it's expensive though. A dagger, an agility, and a magic. Resolve the effects depending upon the current gear. Discard all dice and pass. So this is something you'd want to do at the end. 4 damage and 0 and move 1. 5 damage and 0. 3 damage and 0. Move 2. Or 2 damage and 0 and move 3. Whew. That is a nice card. And then reel in. Deal 1 and 0 to 3 in line of sight. Deal 1 additional damage for each space between you and the attacked enemy. You may teleport the attacked enemy to your space. I'm kind of liking this power. I mean, it's tough because of the 3 dice requirement, especially since I don't have a green dice. I do want to take a card, though. 0 to 3. And line of sight. So this will allow me to like move away and get better damage. I'm going to try this reel in. I'm going to try it. I may regret it. But we're going to give it a shot. And then spin the last one. Go up to 5. All right. Let's move over to the twins. They are going to spin 3 as well. 3. Which is going to put them all the way up to 7. All right. Once again, here I'm probably looking more for a dice than a card unless I get something really good. All right, let's put those in. Let y'all have a second to look at those. Pause if you need, and we're going to go back to twins. All right, let's see what we got here. Shadow Lore. All enemies in 0 to 3 in line of sight. From the shadow, move 2 toward it. Then the shadow deals 1 damage and 0. I'm not a real fan of that. Twin attacks. For double magic or double shield. Don't really have any magic dice, so this is not a great card. Deal 1 and 0. If the shadow isn't 0, deal 3 instead. If the shadow is 3 plus, instead the shadow deals 1 to each enemy in 0. Nah, I don't like any of these. Alright, so this puts us, I said I wanted the dice anyway. Question is, what dice do I want? We've got 2 greens, 3 blacks, and a blue. Right, we have no need to get a blue. We have no real need to get a magic either. This does require a shield, but we should always have a shield. At least one, or something close to it. I've only got 2 abilities. One of those is Sprint, that uses agility. Cleanse uses magic, and I really need a cleanse. I'm just going to take a magic. I may regret this. It can always be my throwaway dice. We're going to go ahead and add another dice. Alright, and then we're going to spin this last one to go up to 8. Alright, let me look at this again. When you deal poison to an enemy, you may choose to deal 1 damage to that enemy for each poison token it has. If you do, discard half of them. Okay, so we need to get another poison onto him, so that's going to be a thing. Do damage. Get to do an extra 2. Discard 1. I like that. Okay. Alright. So where are we at now? Let's look at our card. We're at the refresh phase. Refresh phase. Pass the first token. Refresh all actions and regain all dice. Resolve false refresh steps. Okay. So, regain. He gets to change his gear. I'll let y'all see that. See where it's at. And then I'll change it. Let's go to the dice cam. We're going to change that from gear 3 to gear 4. Alright, y'all see that? Gear 4, he gets to move 2. That's his thing. Let's go back to the main board now. So, his ability, he's got a lot of movement this turn. But he can move 2 right now, which makes this card look really good. Deal 1 damage and 0 to 3 in line of sight. Deal additional damage each space between you and the affected enemy, which would be 2. So he'd do 3 damage. So he's going to move 2. 1, 2. So he could go down here and make it 3, because it is still to 3, right? Well, I might go here. I know he's going to have to pick up the burn, but I think he can handle it. Back up 1, then he's 3 spaces away. Alright. I think that's what we're going to do. Alright. I think we're on the roll dice. So I'm going to take you to the dice cam real quick so we can watch what our first player, which is the twins, roll. They have 7 dice now. Well, this is not a good roll, really. Only 1 dagger. A lot of magic, which we can use that tactics if we have to. Cleanse, definitely. Okay, let's roll for the clockwork. Let y'all get a look at that. And the first thing I'm going to do... Oh, that camera turned off again. Sorry, guys. Let y'all get a look at that. Oh, wait, no signal. Oh, there it goes. All right, then we're going to go to the main board. That way, if I do forget, at least you're seeing everything. We got 2 magics and 4 shields. No double shields. All right. So now we are on to the hero phase. I'm really thinking about having the twins take out the elite. They only need to do 6 damage to it. All right, so let's figure it out. With that 1 dagger, the assassin can do 1 and 1 poison. Don't have, can't do that. Oh, we got this stun. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to discard. I'm gonna discard 1 to take care of one of the burns. Then she would take 1 damage for the other burn. All right, we're probably gonna do the cleanse to get rid of the stun and the burn, but we could do that late. Yeah, we don't even need that. So I really need a double dagger. I need 3 daggers. So I'm going to need a tactic. So I'm going to spend this to get a tactic. All right. So now we have all this. I'm going to re-roll this, keep this. All right, as far as movement goes, I don't think I'm going to need sprint. So I'm going to save, I'm going to re-roll all of it. Because I need 2 daggers. Because I could put anything in run. I know I wanted a magic for cleanse, but I'm going to re-roll all of them for my tactic. All right, let's put this onto the dice cam. All right, we really need to roll 2 daggers here, or the double dagger on the black dice. Oh, not good. We got 1 dagger. Shield. Plenty of movement. I don't think they're going to be able to kill him. This will see no way they're going to do 8 damage. That leveling up to level 2 really cost me. Or not 8, but 6. Because there would be 1, 2, 3. I could discard 1 poison to do 1 extra. That would be 4. So 4 is all I can get. 4 out of 8. 4 out of the 6. I'm too short. So we may have to disregard. Can he do 6? Alright, so let's see him. With that ability, if he moved over 1 space, he'd pull it 2. So he would do 1, 2, 3 damage right there. Then he would need 3 more. It would be with this. He could deal 4 damage if he had 2/4 shields. Or if he can get a 4 shield and a 2 shield, he can do 3 damage. So, how can he get his shields? Oh, I probably shouldn't have moved him. So he's going to stay where he was. He's not going to use those movements. He's going to move 0. He needs to be there because now he can do this. Gain a 2 or it's or deal. So never mind. Where was I here? So he's not going to get a 4 shield. And not to mention, this double magic and a shield have to be used for that ability. So then he doesn't have this. He doesn't have a tactic. And he could use this to gain a 2 shield. He'd have to spend one of these on a tactic, re-roll it, and hope for a magic. Which one's the magic dice? The purple? Yeah. So he could use this up there. It doesn't matter. He can only re-roll one of them. He could use this on this. That on that. But then he has nothing for that. But he's not trying to do this. He's trying to do that. I think we're going to have to focus on the elite. I think we're all just going to have to take him out. I just don't see no way of splitting it up. Try and knock the focus off, at least. Alright, so that's going to be the plan. We're just going to try and do as much damage to the elite as possible. It's not going to be much. So I may put this here with this. Use that to run. Move that to run. Move her into the same space, and that's their 2 turns. They did a tactic that didn't work, and they just ran. Okay. So now we move over. Why do I stay on that board? Alright. So now it is the Clockwork's turn. He's going to have to move over 1 space. But see if he pulls. He doesn't want to pull. Alright, so maybe it is better if he just stayed there and not moved. Forget that ability. Because he can do 1 damage with this, gain a 2 shield, or move, or do 1 damage and 0 to 1. Like I said, we're looking for 6 damage. This would be 1. He has no shield, so this would do nothing. But instead of doing 1, he put that there to gain the 2 shield. Put that there to gain a 2 shield. Then some combination of these, either the 2 shields or the magic in the shield, to move 2, which would be 1, knock the shadow out. And then he would deal 1 damage for, he'd do 2 damage. 2 damage, or he can get a 2 shield, or he could do 1 damage there. Instead, it's better off to get the shield and do the damage with the shield than to not get the shield. Alright, so then he would do 2 damage. They'd have to do 4. Alright. This is so tough. Alright, so the first thing he's going to do is play this here and gain a 2 shield. Alright, so this is free. It's not free. Yeah, he's got all this covered between this. We can do that and do that. That would free him up with these 2. He'd have a magic and a defense. Free. This one, on the other hand, can do more damage. The way I'm looking at this now, I'm only going to do 2 damage. But if I do the double magic in the shield, then I can get to at least here. I will pull him 2. I'll do 1, 2, 3. And then if I do this, but the thing is, I don't see no way of getting to that square. Oh, there, here it is. Move 2. No, because you have to be in 0. But even still, if I give up this is only going to do 2. That, if I move down there, is going to do 2 as well because I only have 1 shield. No. No, because I will do 3, so I will do 3. So no matter what, that's the better way to do it. But I have to get down there, which I can do that. Use this to run, because I run 2 now. And move this down here. That's his 2 actions. So it didn't matter whether I moved there, move 1, or move there. So it's all the same. And we're back to these guys. He is going to be able to do 3 damage. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we need 3 more damage. Between them, we need 3 more damage. And unfortunately, this is stunned. I just don't see how I'm going to get the last damage. Just don't see how I'm going to get the last damage. If I had one more dagger, I would have it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this, which is going to allow the assassin to deal 2 and 0. So that's going to put him at 4. Then we're going to do this, which if the shadow is in 0 of the assassin, gain a 4 instead, and he is. So we're going to get a 4 shield. Didn't get rid of that burn or either one of those 2 stuns because we have no more dice. Okay. I think this is gonna. We had a great round last round. I don't think this one's gonna go as well. So now we're back over here. I am on the board right now. Might as well do what we can. He's gonna spend 2 magic and 1 shield to deal 1 damage and 0 to 3. That gives him at 3, 4, 5. He gets to pull him in a straight line. All right, so he's gonna do 2 more. That's 7. And I can pull him to me. I think I'm gonna do. Is it they can't do anything. We are going to get no lament. All right, so then it comes to these guys, and they have no dice left. So they have to pass, because we didn't do anything with poison. Now, hold up now. Each poison, oh, so he doesn't have any on him. I mean, he had the one I'd put on him. So it still turned it into 2 damage, which is no different than what he did. It would have cost less, but I don't see what I could have done with another dagger and agility. Guess I could have sprinted, but we've already done it. Yeah, because then he could have done that anyway. All right, so now it comes over to the Clockwork, who only has a shield, which he can spend on nothing but a tactic. Might as well get it. You never know when it's going to come in handy. For second action, he has nothing, so he passes. So that's a double pass. This is a really bad round, guys. Really, really bad round. All right, let's go to the dice cam real quick. So let's look at this event. All right, leave that there for a second. Let's go to the safety of the main board. While we see what this does. Burning Lament. Place 1 on Rift 6. Each hunter may discard any number of Lament, which neither one of us have any. Gain 1 for each lament you have, or gain 3 corruption. You know what? Do we really want to deal with the bad stuff that's going to come with corruption if we're that high? Because she will be on 11, he will be on 8. Because the other thing, we don't have to worry about, we have no laments, so we don't have to worry about that. We are fighting the Convergence, so we don't have laments, so we don't have to worry about that either. So all we really got to do is decide whether we want to go up 3 or not. You know what, we're going to go for it. We're just going to go for it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that is another event out of the game. Minions. Are there any minions? Yes, there are. There's 2. Alright, well, I think we're going to get hurt on this one. Hunters of 0 to 3, yes. 1. And no. So here he's going to go 1, 2. Join them. And attack all hunters with 2 dice. Alright, where is the dice cam? 2 commons. Deal 2 damage. I'm going to go ahead and take it, because I don't know what's coming. And I like to save that 4 shield. And that's it. The other guy, there is nobody, so he's going to move 3. You can't worry about the 2 shields. So he's going to go 1, slide down river, and go 2, 3, and end up there. And then deal 1 damage and 1 stun to each hero. So he's going to do 1 damage and 1 stun, which we're going to put on assist. And that, there are no more, right? Yes, that is it. Okay, this is the unfortunate part. 1 damage short of killing this guy. Ugh. Teleport to a space with the closest. So he's going to teleport right back into here. Kill this guy. Teleport to space with any hunter. Kill 1 minion. Attack all hunters with 2 dice. Right, we're still on the dice cam, so that's good. Alright. Oh, this is not good. He's going to deal 4 damage, which we're going to lose our 4 shield for. And 3 hunger. And that is him. Alright, let's take you off this. We're going to go to the board. So basically, the closest minion with a hunter was this one, so he leapt, did his thing. Really put a hurting on twins, who are now down to 5. They have a burn, they have 2 stuns, and they have 3 hunger. So then we go to the Convergence, who didn't get a turn last turn, but he will this turn. Move. All tornadoes move 3. Oh, this is not good. 1, 2, 3. That is full space. This is going to go 1, 2, 3. Deal 3 damage to each hunter and 0 to 1 from the Griefbound or Tornado. So 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. And then resolve special. Attack all hunters 0 to 1 with 3 dice. This is the tornado. So this could kill all the twins. Deal 1, 2, 3 damage and a burn. Yep. That puts him at 0. Don't have to worry about the burn. Alright, so let's deal with that. And then focus, he's going to resolve a special again, which doesn't matter. So, special. All hunters, yeah. So, oh, and move 2. They're still just going to move closer. 1, 2. Resolve it again. 1, 2. He gets knocked out first. He can't pick up, so we'll just go there. Alright. This gets discarded. Refill the attack track. Oh, and we get to shuffle these. So we only got to beat 3 more cards and we can go to the final stage. Alright. So we move on to... Oh, I got to deal with her critical injury. Okay, do the following. Discard all stasis and hunger. Alright, so there's hunger. There's burn. There's 2 stuns. Heal 1. And draw secret card number 2. Alright. Put those there for now. Here they are, the 3 secret card number 2s. All on the main board, right? Yeah, that board is slipped down. Let me... No, wait, I'm not on the main board. There we go. There's the main board. There's our 3 cards. We'll shuffle these up. Give them a little shuffle. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, here we go. Secret card number 2. Let's put these other ones up. And we get critical injury. Yeah, we know. Last deal. Eradicate elites to save your life. Place this card next to your board as long as you have this card. Ignore all negative effects. At the beginning of the event, step resolve. If there are no elites on the map, 6 lament, or at the final attack. Heal 5, remove this card. Okay, same as always. Alright, so we dealt with that. Dealt with him, he's done, and now we get to move up here to special, which unfortunately for the tornadoes means they do nothing. Alright. Where are here they are. Man, that was ugly. That was a very bad turn. Okay, and we do the corruption. We got a lot of corruption. And, well, good thing is she has no hunger anymore. She's first. You know, I was supposed to shuffle this after that last one. So I'm going to do that real quick, guys. And we're going to give this one, whatever it is, to the twins. Let's go to the dice cam. Oh, it's too far up. Just set it down. All right, get a look at that. I'm going to go to the twins. All right, they are on 11. You may exchange up to 3 status tokens for hunger. If you don't gain dice, well, she gets to ignore all that because she can't take negative effects. And then we're going to go over here to the clockwork. Well, let's go to the dice cam first. Let y'all take a look at that. Then go to the clockwork. All right, no hunger, but he is on 8. You may deal 2 unblockable damage to one other hunter in 0, which there are none, to gain 1 lament. If you don't, gain 2 hunger. Well, I guess he's going to gain 2 hunger because he can't do it. All right, so that's the corruption phase. Now the unfortunate, we gained 0 lament, so that just goes away. Pass the first player token. Refresh all dice. He has to switch gears. So let's go to the camera real quick. We are going back to gear 1, so it's not like it's a big surprise. I do believe that there's only 4 gears. All right, so let's switch this to gear 1. I can't see that. Let me put it all the way down. All right, so what do we get to resolve? Deal 1 damage in 0. There is nobody in 0. That sucks. His movement is now 1. All right, so I do believe we are on dice rolling phase. You cannot get rid of that hunger like this. I want to check something. Yeah, it's not. They're not considered status, so we can't get rid of them. All right, so he drew an agility. We'll put this critical injury down here. 2 shields. This is where I put my dice and lots of magic. Let's roll for our twins who really need to roll well. All right. Not rolling well at all. Lots of agility. Only 1 dagger. 1 shield. All that magic. All right. Okay. Let's talk about this. Get off of this dice cam and go to the board. We have to kill the elite. He's only got 1 hit point left. And then with everything conglomerated right here, we're going through that portal and we're going to pop up over here. Okay, so who's first? He's first. He can do this pull thing, but it's kind of a waste. I may let the assassin kill it. It's only going to cost 1 dagger. But I want to save this dagger. No, he only needs a shield to do his. No, wait, there it is. He needs a double dagger. And a movement to do his. I may try to re-roll this dice. Keep that one. And re-roll this dice. To get some daggers. And I need to do that with a tactic. So then the question is, I have no need for this man. I have no need, so I might use this to get a tactic. Spin that tactic and re-roll. I might keep this shield. These 2. Alright, let me put y'all on the dice cam real quick before I roll this. Alright, come on. We need 2 daggers is really what we need. Got them. Good roll. There they are, guys. Sorry. Don't want to pick them up too fast. I noticed that in the last video. My hand was blocking the view. Back to the board. Okay, so this is good. This is actually pretty good. Now, we can kind of do prep work. Because I want to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do it. To do 1 damage to him and kill him. That kills him. Not worried about the poison token. Alright, so that's going to take care of the crit. When does it say to do this? At the beginning of the event step. So we get to stay just like this for now. Alright. Alright, so this guy's now gone. Alright. We get 2 lament each. And we roll. I am really hoping for the rare. Or at least the uncommon. Keep this guy out of the game for a while. Let's go to the dice cam. And we are going to roll. You really want the rare, or at least the uncommon. Alright, we got the uncommon. So we get to put 3 tokens on this card. It's going to keep him out of the game for at least a little while. 1, 2. Needs 1 more. 3. Alright. Let's take y'all to... Let me back this up a little bit so y'all can see. Y'all can't see the whole thing. There you go. No, that glare is just a pain, but that is the uncommon. Alright. Let's get this out of here. Alright, so that's their 2 actions. They got a tactic, they spent the tactic, they got what they needed. And so now we're back over, and that wasn't even their turn. He was supposed to go first. Alright, so let's undo all this. We did that way out of order. Alright, we're going to put the elite back on the board. Unfortunately, that means I have to re-roll that. We know he only has 1 hit point, so I'm not going to put the health on. We know he has 1. And it is his turn. And I really hate to do reel in. But I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to find another way to put this damage onto the Griefbound. But I know they can take care of it. Oh man, that messes up my dice too, doesn't it? Crap. I don't know what. I know I had 1 dagger. I'm going to have to go look at the film and see what I had. Alright. Alright guys, give me 1 second to go and watch this and see what my dice were.